I'm talking about you gotta have that dog mentality.
Man,
you gotta have that beast.
You
know what I mean?
Beast mode, and whatever you want to achieve, you gotta go beast mode.
Truth is, can't nobody stop us. Truth is, can't nobody stop us.
Welcome back to the Mentality Podcast. It's your boy Austin Carter, aka Mr. Obsessed,
and this your boy Lee.
And today, I want to really dive in on a special topic that I got. I want to talk about investing. I want to talk about what does it mean to invest in yourself. So initially, when I think of invest, I think of applying myself to be able to get a better outcome. What does investing mean to you, Lee?
Man, Austin, when I think about investment, right, first two letters of investment is in, right? So
right.
I look at investment as my internal, how I'm feeling, how I'm thinking, aligning myself with what I want, right? So investment is like seeds that you plant. So, how you might have a garden or something outside where it's something in the soil. So you put these seeds in the ground and you water them and you make sure that you watch over them so they don't get broken down. But those seeds, they break through the ground and they come up. So to me, I look at that as my life too, right? So as I'm invested in myself, things come up and things spring forward. So what have I put my energy towards is going to bring me that outcome that I've been looking for. And, I just get kind of specific with and intentional and deliberate with the things that I do. Answer this question for me. When it comes to investing for you, where do you think that starts? Like, how do you get to that point to say, I want to invest in myself? Because I think now a lot of people, they are not intentional with their life and they kind of go with anything. So when it comes to being intentional and investing in yourself, how do you start with that?
Well, by any means, when you want to invest, it starts with yourself first. Anytime you want to invest in anything else, understand if you don't have self together, you don't have what it takes to be able to keep thriving, because consistency and longevity is the best outcome that you can look for when you're investing within yourself.
Right.
Now, when I think about the building blocks of the foundation of how you start to invest in yourself, first you got to figure out, what do I need in order to achieve what I want? That's the first initial thought that you need
right there. Yeah.
In order to start that investment within yourself.
Right. And that's important what you just said. What do I need, right? And if we start to ask ourselves those why questions, what do I need and why? Why is that important to me? And once you know your why, the how it becomes easy. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Where do you get that why from, though? Because I think a lot of people don't know, like, my why.
Well,
they get stuck on I'm sorry, cut y'all, but they get stuck on the how. Like, how do I do it? Well, why did you want to start that in the first place?
I kind of want to take people on a journey real quick, because you asked me, how do you figure out that why? I want you to close your eyes right now, and I want you to think about all the people that's important to you.
Right.
Think about your daughter. Think about your son. Think about your mother.
Talk to him.
Think about your wife.
Ooh,
think about the people that depend on you.
Yes, sir.
So in order to find your why, you have to visualize the people that cannot thrive or live without you investing in yourself and you being the type of person to get it done. That's how you really find your why, is you really visualizing those people that depend on you,
right,
and then you put them at the forefront, and now you go get it.
Ooh.
I'm talking about, you gotta have that dog mentality.
Man,
you gotta have that beast. You know what I mean?
Beast mode. And whatever you want to achieve, you gotta go beast mode. You can't say whatever can get in your way, man, you block it out the way, man. You run through it. Only way to get to it is to go through
talk
it.
That
so
talk.
If anything coming in my way,
talk that talk.
I'm running it over, bro. I ain't running around. I ain't going to
talk
the side.
That talk.
I'm going straight through it.
Yeah.
That boy kind of bring me back to the football.
Hey, man.
Day,
bro, you about
energy I put in there, bro.
Talk that talk, man. You about to get me lit over here, bro. I'm telling you. And when you find that why, you find your purpose. And once you find your purpose, nothing can knock you off your journey. Every day that you live on this earth, you have to get better.
Talk to him.
There should not be one time that you should not think, okay, can I get better?
Right.
Should I get better? Because the people that's depending on you, they don't know nothing about no trials and tribulations. They just know that they see you and they see the person that's gonna go get it. And when you go get it, you gonna go walk them down. You hear me?
Absolutely.
You gonna go walk them down.
Walk
So
'em down.
I feel like the most important thing is to really find your why, and then you start to really expound on, okay, how can I be consistent every day at doing this thing to reach my goal?
And that's another thing right there when you touched on being consistent, right? So now you got all the pressure of everybody on your back, right? So you got to carry the weight, especially as a man. You have to carry the weight, and there's no excuses that you can give yourself or you can give anybody else, right? You have to go and get it.
Right.
So when it comes to that aspect and it comes to say, like, I have to stay consistent with this right now.
Right.
How does that consistency work? Because that's really the main thing, right? So you found your purpose, you found your why. Now it's that consistent, because now you got to go through that forest, and sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So now you off path.
Yeah.
So how do you stay on that path and stay consistent to get to the end goal?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's only one way to be consistent.
Talk to him.
You can't care about nothing else on the outside. Most people, they see life from a tunnel vision. You feel me?
Right.
But if you ever understand why certain people do that, is because, hey, I can't see nothing to the left or right of me. So when you focus on the end goal and you walk on that path, you're only walking that path with the intentions of, hey, I'm going to stay in this line until I get it, until I reach it. So you have to put your blinders on and you have to see nothing but the goal in front of you. And once you see that goal, go get it. Right. You go get it, you grab it, and then you internalize it. And once you internalize it, then you adopt the mentality and the mindset to be able to go to the next goal. So it's all about getting there, bro. You got to get there.
Man, I think it's all about getting there. And sometimes you might not know your lane, right? But sometimes you can create your own lane. You know what I'm saying? And then if you stay in that lane, you will get there a lot faster, because anybody else's lane might have traffic in it. And it might be a detour that you might have to take, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to being consistent and like you said, having that tunnel vision on, this is the end goal that I'm going to get. And can't nothing get in this path. And if it does, I want 100 miles an hour. I hope you get out the way.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about we getting it.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes just stay in your own lane and make your own lane, because nobody else, like you're only you. You can't be anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Imitation, not duplication. So,
and you can't be lazy either, bro.
At all.
You know what I mean?
No,
like
sir.
a lot of people think you can just half-ass your way to the top, bro. You cannot be lazy.
Bro. And it's not an easy way to get there either. It's not like an easy street,
No.
like express lane, zoom,
Bruh,
straight there.
if it was easy, everyone out here will be doing it. You know what I mean? Everybody out here will be having a backpack full of money.
Yeah, exactly.
A house in the hills. Exactly. It's not easy though. So I agree. There's no easy path to success, but the path that you choose, understand that path has obstacles, and you just have to go climb over them. You have to get past them obstacles at any given chance you get. You go accomplish that.
So when it comes to obstacles, right, and just say like something does get in the way, how do you not let that deter you backwards? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, and when I realized, even with myself, right, you get to a certain point on that journey, in that road, and it comes a block in the way, right? And you don't know how close you are to your goals until you get to that bump in the road, and you stop dead in your tracks. Sometimes you get those thoughts in your head to say, okay, well, this might be enough. Or it might be too hard. I've been through too much and I haven't got the results that I wanted this far. How can I keep going? You know what I'm saying? So in your own perception, right? How do you say this is a block in the road? What do I do at that point? How do I move past that block? Because I don't want to move backwards.
Man,
but I don't know what the other side is.
It's all about your mentality. It's all about you owe you at the end of the day, bro.
Right.
Like when I'm thinking about, okay, I'm close to my goal, but I want to give up because it's been a long journey. Understand that you owe you. Can't nobody go buy your mama that house but you.
No, sir.
Can't nobody take care of your kids but you.
No, sir.
Can't nobody sit up here and sacrifice like you sacrifice for your responsibilities. I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No.
I'm not gonna sacrifice for you like I'm willing to sacrifice for me. And that's just the common thing that we have to understand within ourselves. Sometimes you have to be selfish and you have to understand, like, I owe me this. You owe you. For sure.
Man, and we on the same page with that. And I think that's very important. Like, you owe you. You don't owe anybody else.
Yeah.
And if you're in alignment with yourself and the
Yeah.
things that you're doing, then everybody else benefits off that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm the best version or the better version of myself, Lee
Yeah.
Anthony, then everybody else recognizes that too.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that part of it, I think that's the most important thing to do is for self.
Yeah, like it all goes back to what we just talked about. Like you have to have that dog mentality, and I'm gonna explain what that dog mentality is. That dog never gets fed.
Yeah.
That dog stays home and he don't never get satisfied.
Yeah.
When you got that dog in you,
Talk to him.
that dog always is hungry.
That dog
A lot of people
inside.
think that a dog is something that you can just wake up with one day. No, that dog always leaves in you.
Yeah.
That dog never goes home. So if you want to know how to wake that dog up,
Right.
you think about your why. And what would you say your why was? Your why is the people that's important to you, that depend on you.
Depend
and
on
once you think about that, man, that
Right.
dog start growling.
Every time.
Man, that dog wake up.
That
That
dog
dog
wake up.
starts to get
It don't matter if
mad.
that dog sleep. It don't
Man,
matter if that dog
you
eat
hear
or
me?
the dog. Man, that dog gonna wake up and it's ready to go. It's
Yeah.
ready to defend whatever
Yeah.
it has to defend.
Yeah.
So it's family protection.
Yeah.
And what's most important in family? You know
Man, nothing more important than family.
That's all you really got at the end of the day.
Nothing.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
so with that being said, when you invest in yourself, you gotta have that dog. You gotta understand that can't nobody do it for you. It's not gonna be easy. Understand that you owe you this at the end of the day. Don't nobody else owe you. People want somebody to pull them up and bring them up. But hey, you owe you. You owe you. And that's a
100%
fact.
agree.
So when you think about that mentality, understand that you got to go feed that dog, because that dog never, ever gets satisfied. So
never
with
gets
that being said, bro, I feel like that we talk a lot about discipline on each segment, and discipline also goes along with that. So in order to stay disciplined,
Yeah.
you have to understand that at the end of the day,
Right.
here's my goal. Here's all the distractions around me.
Right.
You have to sacrifice your wants for your needs. And that's the best way I can explain to stay disciplined.
Delayed gratification.
Facts.
Facts.
Talk that talk.
So, and when you say that, it kind of brought my head, right? So, sometimes we might set our goal out too far in the future, and when it's too far in the future, it might seem like it's a long journey to travel.
Right.
So, do you think it's most important to set milestones in order to get to a bigger goal, right? So, if I'm walking this journey, I see this, oh man, it's way down there. That's a long walk. You
Right.
know those negative connotations in your head.
Right.
But what if you set smaller milestones and actually
Right.
hit that?
Right.
I got to this point. Oh, I got to that point. And by the time you look back, you way farther than what you
Yeah,
started. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So when it comes to that, like, how important is it to set milestones in achieving your goal?
Man, it's a snowball effect. When you think about a snowball coming from the top of the hill, and once it gets to the
Starts
bottom
small,
of the
yeah.
hill, it starts small.
Accumulates.
And it accumulates as time go on. And as it's snowballing, it gets bigger and bigger. So
Right.
all that means pretty much is that you start with the small things first. Let that accumulate. Then start handling the medium things that you can handle. Then go after the bigger things.
Yeah.
As you start to get motion, as you start to get
Right.
momentum, then you go into that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I feel like you just have to dominate everything in front of you. In your own opinion, what does being dominant mean to you?
Oh man, just for me, man, being dominant is taking control, right? Being assertive in what you want, how you want it, and seeing a clear vision on, hey, this is what I'm going to get. This is how I'm going to lead. I look at dominance as a leader.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not overbearing,
Yeah.
but a dominant in a way that, hey, I got a vision. You know, it might be difficult for everybody else to interpret this vision.
Yeah.
But if you can follow my lead on this, I'm going to lead us in the right way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Just the whole aspect of being dominant, because I listened to Deion Sanders, and he
Shout out to
coaches
Deion
at
Sanders, too.
Jackson State University. And
Yes,
one
sir.
thing that he always says is be dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just go out there and win. I want you to go out there and dominate. I want that person to not get a yard. I want that person to not get a touchdown.
Control it.
I want that other team to leave off that field and say, man, they not only won, but they dominated.
dominated.
And
I
it's
see
more
what
than
you're
one
saying.
way to dominate in life.
Absolutely.
Just because you're good at something, or just because you have one goal, doesn't mean that you can't dominate and on that journey to get to that goal.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if my goal is to be the best father,
Right.
Why does it stop at being the best brother? Aren't you supposed to be the best friend, the best brother? You want to dominate in all aspects around you. So if I'm on the journey to be the best father, I'm going to also dominate and be the best brother.
Because it becomes a trickle effect, like you said, the
Yeah.
snowball. It get bigger and bigger,
Yeah.
and then those areas that it gets bigger just expand.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, all aspects of your life too.
And
So
you can't dominate one thing and not try to be dominant in every single faction of life.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
if look at the most greatest minds of this world. If Elon Musk wasn't so dominant with his innovative mindset, his innovative technology, and being the first company to like have these self-driven cars or electric cars, if he was just dominant in that and not everything else in his life, he wouldn't be able to now acquire Twitter, to now acquire another business, to where now he's able to dominate, give people different opportunities now that I have control of this network. So you have to dominate in every aspect of life, not just one way. You know what I mean?
I absolutely agree. Like you said, dominate is leaving your mark. When you dominate, especially like how you gave the analogy with Jackson State and Deion Sanders, when he say dominate, when you leave that field, we want to dominate. So every time that they come back, they know exactly who we are. And they'll never forget that, because, you know, we left our imprint.
Yeah.
And that's how hard we go. And it's that dog mentality that you consume in yourself to say, man, win, lose, or maybe, I'm going to leave it all on the line. Every time, I'm going to leave it all on the line. And I can sleep at night to say, I gave 110%. I gave it my all. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. When you reach that goal and you're dominant, and you're investing in yourself to be dominant,
Right.
what does it really mean for you to leave behind that legacy? You know, because at the end of the day, what are you going to be remembered for? You know what I mean? I feel like I heard this quote a long time ago that, you know, people are not going to remember the things that you do for them. People are not going to remember necessarily what you gave them. But in that short period of lifetime, they're going to remember who you are and what you stood for and what you left behind. So what does it mean to leave that legacy behind of being dominant and achieving your goals?
I think it goes a long way, right? So, and that's the most thing that we can do is leave behind a legacy. And some people, that might not be financial. Some people, that might be wisdom. That might be knowledge. It might be financial. It can be a lot of different things.
Did you hear about Deion Sanders getting that offer from Colorado? I believe he got an offer of $5 million to go coach at Colorado.
We got offered $5 million to go coach at Colorado. Man, what I think, he's done a great job at Jackson State.
Yeah.
I think he's led that team in a great way. He's left behind a legacy for that team. And there's nothing wrong with him moving to bigger and better to help other teams get that aspect and the dog mentality he's taught. But I mean, in that token, bro, I think he should go for it.
Well, do you think it's going to help his legacy or hurt his coaching legacy? Simply because, hear me out.
Okay.
He came to Jackson State to make a change, which he did make a lot of change.
Absolutely.
Not just with the HBCUs, but in college, because a lot of these 5-star kids are going to HBCUs now, right? And I feel like that he have kind of changed starting to change the mindset of these kids that's coming out of high schools to go to these HBCUs. But do you think he spent enough time to actually develop a long-term mindset for these kids to go to HBCUs?
I think it depends on who, if he does go, who Jackson State puts as his replacement. I do think that he left behind a great legacy, a great mindset, and they got that dog mentality. They gonna dominate on that field. So as those kids still come in, they still gonna have that legacy. It's still gonna be like, hey, man, he used to coach us. He put them on the map. He's done a lot for them, and I think that's the most important thing, right? Because at the end of the day, he still got his own family. He got to, support and tend to too. So whatever the best decision for him, I support it. You know what I'm saying? And I think he left behind a positive impact. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, my thoughts is kind of like I can lean two ways with it, because honestly, I feel like what he has done so far up to this point is great. I feel like that he's really changed the mindset of a lot of people in general. And how they look at HBCUs. But HBCUs, they're in turmoil a lot of the times because they don't have the funding that these bigger schools have. They don't have the requirements that these kids are necessarily looking for to be able to like feel comfortable. Like their budgets are so low compared to these Power 5 schools. So I feel like that he's done a great job. I feel like that it isn't enough. I feel like that if he would stay maybe a couple more years, maybe we'll be having a different conversation of impact. But I think if he leaves to go to the bigger school, and I understand that, you know, he has a family, he has staff, that he has NFL ex-players and coaches that have come on his staff that he has to support and take care of too. But I also think that if he stays a couple of more years, I feel like the impact will be greater. Because I feel like enough is not – I feel like even though that he has done a lot, I feel like that there's still more to go.
Okay, and then what way would the impact be with the HBCU college, right? So Jackson State, if he stayed the extra 2 years, right, what greater impact would it have outside of the years that he's already spent? And do you think they'll get more funding, kind of like how the Big Five got, you know, or do you think it'll still be kind of the same?
Honestly, I think Deion Sanders and the brand of Deion Sanders have run so much attention to this to HBCUs. I feel like that if he leaves now, I feel like it will almost be like work not finished, work is not done. But
I can see that side.
On the other side, I can see where if he does leave, I can see the long impact of positivity because he has brought coaches that once coaching in the NFL, the coach at Grambling State University, Hugh Jackson. He has brought other people, ex-NFL players, Eddie George, and these players to come and coach. But I feel like that if he did stay, it would have a more impactful impact on the HBCU colleges around the world.
And I can see that point too. I can see that like his impact at that college can spread to other colleges, right? And now they'll get more recognized, they'll get more noticed out here in the college world, and you know they'll get that funding that they need, they'll get the equipment and financial gain that they need. So
that's really interesting topic. I want to talk about branding. I want to talk about because Deion Sanders, what he have done and created this brand around Jackson State, because Prime Time is the brand. You know what I mean? And people come to see Prime Time and what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? How he's coaching. He's been the same way since he's been playing. He's always been a brand. How important is it for you to not only invest in yourself, but how important is it to focus on your brand?
Man, you know what? I think your brand is very important, right? Because your brand is what people trust you for. Like when people come to you, what do they get?
Right.
And that consistency that you provide, that equates to your brand and what you're gonna give them. So I think your brand is your legacy in a sense, like how it kind of like touched on our legacy, like that legacy that we're leaving behind. That's your brand in the business world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So as you continue to be consistent in the things that you do, as you continue to provide value in this world, I think that you automatically start to build your brand.
I'm going to be honest with you. Can I be honest with you? Yeah. You know who changed my life when it comes to branding?
Who?
So one thing that I've always respected about people, Sierra Nicole, she's very big on branding. She made it aware for me to really understand how important brand is, because brand is something that is bigger than just a person. Brand is what you're known for.
Right.
Brand is what you represent.
Right.
So she really taught me how to identify brand and how to work on brand and how important it is to keep your structure strong when you are branding. Another example is Kylie Jenner. For so long, she's been known as the sister, you know, but before she is who she is now, she's always been the Kardashian sister. But she's worth $1 billion. And when you think about why she's worth $1 billion, it's because of her brand, how big her brand is, what her brand stands for. So she can literally do anything. And just because her brand of being Kylie Jenner is so big, she will forever make millions and billions of dollars because of that brand. So when I seen that, she changed my life, because I also thought about like, man, I can be on the biggest scale of that I want to. All I have to focus on is my brand and understanding brand, and you know, it'll really carry you through. You know what I mean? So like, branding is important to me, because if you brand the right way,
Right.
you'll be able to live a lifestyle that you want to live simply because of what you're known for and what you represent. So I think branding is very important to people for them to really understand, you know?
Right. No, I like you said, I think branding is definitely important. I think branding is your legacy. Branding is what you're going to leave behind. But I think it still boils back down to our topic today, and that's investing. Investing in yourself. And I think when you start to invest in yourself, the first thing you do is invest in your mindset, your mentality. And when you invest in your mentality, because it all starts here, right? When you get your mind right, your body will follow. So the knowledge that you put in, I think that's the most important thing that's like the fuel in the vehicle to get the vehicle going. You know what I'm saying? So, like, kind of to get back to where we're saying, investing in yourself, it starts with your mindset and your mentality.
That's a fact. And I want to ask this question right here. Do you invest in your friends? Or do you invest in people around you? How does that work? Because I'm the type of person that I want to invest in people around me.
Absolutely.
I'm the type of person that if I'm climbing this ladder, I want you to be able to climb with me, but not from a standpoint of me holding my hand down and trying to bring you up, but from the standpoint of like giving you the knowledge and giving you the tools and the tangibles that you need in order to flourish. So I'm all about bringing up people around you, but what I'm not about is bringing someone up that don't want it. There's no way that I should want it more than you do. There's no way that I should be able to believe in your own ability more than you do. So there's a difference when you invest in people. What's your thoughts on that?
When it comes to investing in friends, you have to know your friends, right? And if it's in me, of course, I want to share knowledge. Yeah. I always wanted knowledge shared with me. I had to go dig for it and find it. You know, I had to go study, right? So I might have done the hard work, and I can be able to, I'm able to really pass along that information. But at the same time, like you said, when you climbing that ladder and you going up that ladder and you trying to help somebody else come up that ladder with you, sometimes they might be holding you, holding you back, or they might be trying to pull you down to come back. Like, hey, I don't want to climb that ladder. You was down here with me. Why you want to go up there?
And another thing too, I feel like that it's okay to do it on your own terms. Like if you're climbing that ladder, if you're trying to reach it to the top, if you're trying to go reach out to that goal, it's okay to do it on your own terms. I might not be a millionaire, but I'm going to get there by working and going to school. I might not have a network, but I'm going to go reach out to people and I'm going to go risk being afraid of getting rejected just for the accomplishment in mind. I may not be the smartest, be the strongest, be the fastest, but one thing you won't do is outwork me.
Yeah, you can't.
You won't outwork me.
Never outwork me.
Never.
Because it's only one me.
Yeah.
I can only outwork my own self.
Yeah.
And if I outwork myself, that only means I'm getting better.
Talk that talk.
I'm only getting better if I outwork myself. If I got tunnel vision and all I see is me in that mirror, if I just see me in that mirror and I say, you know what, you my biggest competitor. You know that? You the only one that's kind of getting in my way. Talk. So it's me versus me right now.
Yeah, every time.
Every time.
Every time. And I feel like once you have that mentality,
yes, sir,
you grow that mentality. No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended.
At the end of the day, man, it all starts with mindset, man. In order to invest in yourself, I mean, you have to develop that mindset. You have to figure out your why. You have to be able to stay disciplined on that journey. And you also have to push past your limits because you only owe you, man.
You only owe you. And
at the end of the day.
And pushing past your limits is only going to get you better. You don't know your limits until you break through them.
Yeah.
And then you don't know that next limit until you break through that. So I always continue to strive for it. I always keep going. Never give up on yourself. Never give up on your dreams and your aspirations. Yeah. And go after with everything you got.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's you versus you.
Yeah, talk that talk.
Ooh, man, say.
Hey, man, you get me lit, man. Look, so, man, if you watching right now, understand that, you know, we care about mentality because mentality is your foundation to your life. Your mentality will help you lead into every aspect of life, period. So if you want to get stronger, if you want to get better, if you want to become a better father, if you want to become a better husband, understand that you have to have that mentality. And once you get that mentality, you have to now capitalize on growth. So, man, look, this is Mentality Podcast. Man, you checking in with Austin Carter.
And you checking in with Lee.
and tell somebody you love.
Hey, it's up from here.
Yeah.
Truth is, can't nobody stop us. Truth is, can't nobody stop us.